The Abundant Diversity of Religious Experience. Hello, this is Dr. Bin Song at Washington College for the course of Introduction to Comparative Religion, Eastern. As the course comes to its conclusion, let's talk about a comparison of religions. However, since the comparative study of religions from the interdisciplinary angles of philosophy, religious studies, and theology is what my scholarly career has been dedicated to, it's hard to give a short video lecture on such a rich topic. In this regard, I will follow my writer instinct that if nothing else you can talk about, or if there is too much you can talk about, be phenomenological. In other words, I'll just describe my religious experiences. Per the categories so nicely laid out in the assigned chapter of How to Think Globally and Affiliate Locally by Dr. Janine Diller, I am a differentialist pluralist regarding salvific religious experience, but an identist open inclusivist regarding the knowledge of ultimate reality. This means that I believe there are multiple types of religious experiences, each of which fulfills distinctive paths to salvation. In whatever sense, salvation can be understood by varying traditions. For instance, in the Christian tradition, prayer to God is a theistic religious experience, leading to the salvation from sins. In the Buddhist tradition, meditation is an acosmic, calming down religious experience, leading to nirvana, namely salvation from human suffering. In the Ru Confucian tradition, performing ritualistic arts, such as the one of Taiji martial art, is an anthropo-cosmic religious experience, leading to a continual harmonization of involved beings in evolving situations of life, namely a salvation from chaos and imbalance in one's individual and social life. However, regarding the knowledge of the so-called ultimate reality, I am an identist. I believe ultimate reality is one, and different traditions have varying perceptions and conceptions of it. However, since my way of life is rooted in the ancient Ruism, I take Ruism as the base for me to learn about ultimate reality, the so-called Tian. Even so, I do not believe the long history of Ruist spirituality has exhausted all possibilities of the knowledge of such an ultimate reality, and hence I am also eager to learn from other traditions so as to incorporate these outside insights into the Ru tradition. During the process, I hold on to no dogma, no incorrigible creed. Instead, I am ready to change my pre-established conceptions whenever needed, and hence grow my rooted Ruist way of life in an open-ended yet continual and organic way. I call this type of interreligious studies as a rooted and open inclusivism. Since I am experientially, salvifically pluralistic, but ontologically processual and inclusivist, I also see varying types of religious experiences lead to different modes of salvation, but these modes of salvation all engage humans with varying aspects of the same ultimate reality. Good. Let me give some brief accounts of three types of religious experience I have gone through: the theistic one, the cosmic one of pure awareness, and the anthropo-cosmic one. Around the summer of 2004, I watched the movie Pulp Fiction and was quite obsessed with one of its last scenes, which is full of religious meanings. In that scene, one killer, acted by Samuel Jackson, miraculously avoided all bullets fired by his opponent from an incredibly close distance. Before this event, whenever the killer was about to kill someone, he would recite biblical verses, yet with no obvious understanding nor devotional feeling attached to these verses. However, after this miracle happened, the killer believed that this is a revelation, and he accordingly turned into a very pious Christian. In comparison, his killing partner, who is acted by John Travolta, experienced the same miracle, but because he has no habit of pointlessly reciting biblical verses, he didn't see that as a miracle. In the movie, the partner was eventually killed, but the new Christian convert gave up his criminal vocation and continued to live a pious life. After watching the movie, I was so intrigued by its religious meaning to start regularly and intensively reading the Christian Bible. During one night when I played poker with my friends and was in a desperate situation, I shouted almost fanatically, "God, please give me a black ace of spades," without really believing it could ever come true. However, I did draw a black ace of spades after I fanatically prayed my wishes. Honestly, because of the influence of the movie and my reading of the Christian Bible during that time, I had a great feeling of awe in front of an almighty supreme being. At that particular poker moment, I was stunned. Many years later, when I read Rudolf Otto described his religious experience of God as a feeling of mystery, of terror and awe towards the absolute other, I knew immediately what he is talking about. Be theistic as such an experience may, my acosmic experience of pure awareness derives from my consistent practice of breathing meditation. In one night early this year of 2021, around 1 o'clock a.m., I woke up with my eyes open but my eyelids closed. At the first few minutes, I could not understand where I was. Since my eyelids were closed, I could only see some shapeless dark or crimson colors before my eyes, like facing the quiet and vast universe. My breathing was completely suspended. I felt no need to either inhale or exhale whatsoever, and this suspense of breathing lasted for quite a while, before I felt the need to inhale a little bit and exhale slightly and accordingly. I could not feel the existence of my body either. One leg seems to blend, while another one seems to cross over it. But overall, there was no obvious feeling of my hand, arm, or other parts of the body. And I felt a complete ease, comfort, transparency, and an endurable sense of peaceful joy. It was as if nothing existed in the world except my super translucent eyesight. However, when I opened my eyelids and got to understand I was actually sleeping on the original bed and waking up, I immediately realized that the psychosomatic states where I was at those moments was exactly the same as when I entered into a deeper state triggered by my normal practice of breathing meditation. Such a deeper state is normally featured by slow, delicate, and even suspended breathing, and I regularly do this practice after my lunch and during an afternoon nap. During this sort of meditative nap, I barely fall asleep, but I can feel that when the ideal states of breathing happen, my eyes can open while my eyelids closed. Accompanying this unusual movement of my eyes, I can also enjoy a feeling of ease, comfort, transparency, and being endurably re-energized for quite a while. This is also normally how I reboost myself for my afternoon work. However, on that night, for the first time in my life, the practice of breathing meditation went on by itself while I was asleep. When the spontaneous practice reached its ideal state, it woke me up with my eyes open but eyelids closed. What happened afterwards was that while lying on bed, I changed my size and postures for several times. Nevertheless, however I positioned myself on the bed, the deep, slow, and delicate breathing just continued by itself. It constantly re-energized me and put my state of consciousness in such a more and more mindful state that eventually I got up around 2 o'clock a.m. and started to write a paper, reply to emails, and do my other daily routines as a scholar. I did another nap in the breakfast time, and after that I didn't feel any fatigue or stress during the day because of the seemingly undercut sleep. I call this religious experience as an acosmic one of pure awareness because of the complete disappearance of the split between me as the subject and the world as object. Because of it, when I read how Patanjali talks about the non-dual pure awareness as underlying all concrete patterns of consciousness in the Yoga Sutra, I know intimately what he is talking about. Lastly, I will give an even briefer account of my anthropocosmic experience of oneness because of my intensive study of Ruism at the Daofeng Institute of Sino-Christian Studies in Hong Kong in the spring of 2011. That institute dwells in a very beautiful mountain, and is building a mixture of ancient Chinese and Lutheran Christian styles. I was arranged into a room in a scholarly dormitory, which shares the same common area with other scholars. From the window of it, I can feel the flourishing trees, flowers, and hear bird chirping and tourists walking by. In that room, I used 3 months to decipher one particular verse in Confucius Analects. When talking about the goal of one's good life one can ever dream about, Confucius was recorded as particularly approving of the following view. Quote, "The last month of spring, once the spring garments have been completed, I should like to assemble a company of 5 or 6 young people and 6 or 7 kids to go bathe in the Yi River and enjoy the breeze upon the rain-dance altar, and then return saying to our residence." Quote. As mentioned, this quote is embedded in a long conversation between Confucius and his students on what is the desirable type of good human life. The experience depicted by the verse itself is anthropocosmic, since the exuberating joy felt by the companions of human fellowship, including the young and old, co-vibrates with the life-generating season of spring in the cosmos. In order to reliven the depicted experience, I try to integrate everything I can do in that beautiful mountain during the 3 months into one holistic experience. I meditated every day and almost everywhere. I read, I wrote, I talked with other scholars, and I also hiked together and played sports together with them. We even cooked together so as to have dinners of a banquet style. During the process, friends played guitar, we sang songs, and sometimes we also organized serious conferences, exchanged intellectual ideas. I wrote lots of poems in the 3 months, and when things cooled down a little bit, the 3 months also turned out to be the most productive ones in my career of scholarly writing. I see a significant portion of the 3 months in that mountain as reviving the anthropocosmic religious experience approved by Confucius. This type of religious experience may not be that submissive or ecstatic as the Christian and Hindu ones. However, its enduring, constantly energizing, and colorful nature definitely leaves an indelible mark on my life. So, the final problem may be, since religious experiences are thus abundant and diverse, how do we deal with them? In the Ruist metaphysics, the ultimate reality of Tian has its mystical and ineffable dimension, which connects me to the absolute other nature of the theistic experience. Also, the all-pervading cosmic vital energy was thought of by Ruist masters such as Zhang Dai as best represented by the purified state of human heart-mind, a trope immediately relatable to Patanjali's term of pure awareness. However, what remains the most important for such an incorporation of non-Ruist religious experiences to its own is that I expect that such a process of incorporating and harmonizing will never end. Life continues, civilization endures, and the entire cosmos is evolving. So, with such a felt cosmic and human energy of constant creativity, I believe our comparative study and practice of religions would never end either.